Hey folks, today is Friday, January 7th, 2019. Actually, you know what? You know what I'm gonna do? Let's get this 5 million subscriber balloon out of here. It's like deflated already anyway.
Hey folks, today is Friday, January 7th, 2019. As usual, my name is Jake Baldino, and we gotta talk about a lot of video game news that has been going on this week. It is a crazy week because E3 is right around the corner. Holy fuck, I'm so lightheaded. Oh my god, don't do this at home.
Whoa.
You just did drugs on camera, you know that.
Whoa, that doesn't count as drugs.
E3 is kicking off this weekend. Pretty much Saturday and Sunday is when it's really go time, but it's already wild thanks to a bunch of leaks and stuff. So let's just get right into it. There's so much going on. But first and foremost, Thursday, Google came out and outlined more of their Stadia stuff. That is, of course, their streaming service that they did announce a couple months back. This is the real deal now. We have more information about it, concrete stuff. First and foremost, they did specifically outline the amount of bandwidth you should have, how your ups and downs are to get the right resolution, HDR, frame rate. It looks like you need about 15 just to get basically anything, which seems like a pretty decent starting point, but you're gonna need like 35 for the good stuff. This is, of course, if you're even into streaming, which is a whole nother conversation we've had in many other videos. Interestingly enough, the big thing to come out of it is that the Stadia Pro membership subscription will essentially cost around $10 a month, but it's not subscription only like Netflix. There's a subscription that will get you games, but then you also have the option to purchase new games digitally to own on the platform, which sounds like something I would not do. Interestingly enough, they are planning a free version of a membership this year for you to get some stuff. That sounds like that could be interesting, especially for people who are just trying to get their hands on any type of games. But what they did announce is if you want to jump in early, if you want to try it first, there is the Founder Edition. It's $130. It gets you a Google Chromecast so you can play it on a TV, a fancy controller, essentially a 3-month trial membership, and the ability to gift one friend that trial as well. They did introduce some interesting stuff. There was actual game announcements for it. We got a little bit more details on Ghost Recon Breakpoint. That's going to be coming for it, as well as Baldur's Gate 3, which we talked about last week being rumored. This is officially a thing. They showed a Mind Flayer. It was a really awesome and disgusting, gross trailer. It's not exclusive to Stadia or anything, but I'm just happy that that's announced. There's a bunch of other things coming, like Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Doom, Doom Eternal, Tomb Raiders, Final Fantasy 15, Darksiders Genesis. Oh yeah, that was another thing, since we're talking about Darksiders Genesis is a spin-off, top-down Diablo-style Darksiders game that could be pretty interesting. We also got big announcements surrounding Destiny and new stuff for that, but also cross-account progression, which is very, very cool if you're a Destiny person like these guys are. Congratulations, I'm happy for you. But the big thing, the little data point I want to point out about Stadia, like, yes, it's probably not for a lot of people like us who want, real, regular core gaming experiences, but somebody who travels a lot or a more casual gamer, this might make sense for them. But like I always talk about, like, not everybody has perfect internet. Infrastructure is not perfect throughout the world. Even in America, our internet can be pretty crappy in some places. And the data point that has come out, Stadia 4K streaming will use up to 1 terabyte of data in 65 hours. So basically, for perspective, a lot of people, at least in the United States, have data caps where they can only use so much data on their internet plan per month. I see data caps becoming more and more of a thing. So that's a thing to consider, especially if you are in those situations. PC Gamer had a really good breakdown of like just how the hourly streaming will work depending on if you're doing 4K 60, something like that. That will be linked in the description below if you want to read up more on that. Now, next up, I just want to talk about this quote that has been circulating that obviously is very attractive and exciting. It's from Todd Howard. Todd Howard of Bethesda, who people have seemed to hate lately because of Fallout 76, but still. He went on record with an interview with IGN talking about the next Elder Scrolls game, acknowledging that so many people are very eager for it, but he also talked up the success of Skyrim and how 8 years later, people are still buying it and playing it, and it's still the best-selling game on every platform it launches on. So here's what he said. Here's the quote, because taken out of context, it sounds like this amazing, fantastical thing, but here. They love it, they still play it, and we're 8 years post-Skyrim. It lets us know that going into Elder Scrolls 6, that this is a game we need to design for people to play for a decade at least. So what he's saying there is that they once again want to make a game that will last and sell for a decade, similar to how Skyrim did for the last 8 years. To me, I don't read that and say that they're making the next Skyrim game 10 years long. It's not gonna have 10 years worth of content. I just say don't get it twisted. That's why it's always important to actually read. Still, I do like that approach. I think they realize how big Skyrim was and they're thinking about that. I think that's good. Whether or not you actually care about what Todd Howard still has to say, I figured it was just an interesting quote to dissect, you know? Just because I like an excuse to talk about it and it's gonna like fall under the radar really quickly, Shenmue 3 got delayed. It's coming out in November now. It was supposed to drop in August, but they have pushed it for a little bit more work. And honestly, with something like Shenmue 3, we've waited this long. It still looks like it needs work, so give it all the time it needs. You know what? Push it even past November. I can keep waiting. I've waited like, what, 10 years?
19 years.
It's been that long?
September 6, 2001 was Shenmue 2.
What? But in big news, something that did make headlines that we want to talk about, the other top story, is Modern Warfare. Now, like I've said, we made a video. I got to break down a lot of it because I got to see it behind closed doors. Check that out. We also talked about it on the Friday show, but the newest information, thanks to an interview with some of the creative heads behind the game, is that they said that the game made playtesters cry. Now, a little context here. What they're saying is essentially the narrative and just like the compelling story behind it and the amount it invests you in the game has led to some emotional reactions with playtesters, that being when they bring people in, they let them play early versions of the games, and in most instances they have video cameras pointed at their face so they can actually capture people's reactions moment to moment while they're trying a sequence of the game. And apparently one person cried. At least that's how it sounds like in the interview. Creative director Jacob Minkoff said, and I quote, "We've had multiple playtesters cry." They said it was because the weight and gravity of the narrative, blah, 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 blah. That could be buzzwords and talking points, but honestly, from what I got to see of the game, the 2 playthroughs I got to see, there was some pretty shocking, jaw-dropping stuff, especially for a Call of Duty game, which doesn't usually go this far, except for no Russian. It's stuff on the level of that. So I don't think they're bullshitting here. Honestly, that's my honest opinion, but I'm curious to see what you guys think. Have you ever wanted a Call of Duty game to make you cry? Let me know in the comments. I cried during Press F to pay respects, did you? Also announced freshly this morning is a new Destroy All Humans. It had been rumored, had popped up here and there. THQ Nordic is indeed making what is essentially a remake of the original Destroy All Humans. All we got was this flashy cinematic trailer with Ramstein. So that is a thing. I'm very much looking forward to seeing that and how that game fits in 2019. Apparently it's coming out in 2020 though. Also, after a leak, it has now pretty much officially been acknowledged by Ubisoft. Watch Dogs 3 is going to be called Watch Dogs Legion. It is a thing. It takes place in a near future London. And the biggest catch, the biggest gimmick right now floating around with the game is that apparently you can take control of any NPC in the game, and then the game kind of like dynamically builds a story around that character that you play as. I'm very curious to see how that works because, like, yeah, it sounds like cool technology, cool idea, but still, I feel like I'd still rather have a protagonist with an actual fleshed out story, not decided by like an algorithm. But I'm willing to be impressed. If they got something new that they're working on, let's see what they got. All will probably be revealed very soon. Of course, it's Friday. E3 is, again, like I said, kicking off more this weekend. But I want to take a break from E3 stuff and rumors for a second and talk about stupid bullshit. There's a lot of it, actually. I thought this was interesting. I don't know if you guys saw this. Apparently, Ikea is making custom game accessories. The famous furniture retailer Ikea has apparently partnered with a prosthetics company. This collaboration is apparently going to be a 3D printed line of products that are all aimed around ergonomics and comfort and even accessibility for some disabled gamers. Apparently the first line is going to be like a wrist brace, these really cool textured keycaps that have like grip on them, a mouse bungee, which is very important for some PC gamers, but I'm curious to see how good theirs will actually be. This stuff is apparently launching in 2020. I just thought it was interesting and a weird story to talk about, so I wanted to bring it up because I also want to bring up the fact that Xbox is making cleaning hygiene products. So here's the deal. Xbox is teaming up with the makers of Axe body spray, and they're working on Xbox Lynx. There is going to be, and I shit you not, a body wash, a deodorant, and a body spray, like for real. Lynx Xbox is apparently, and I quote, a fresh scent of pulsing green citrus featuring top notes of kaffir lime and winter lemon, aromatic herbal middle notes of mint and sage, and woody bottom notes of patchouli and clearwood. Wow. Holy shit, they could have just said it smells like green. What would a PlayStation one smell like? I wonder.
Not crossplay.
Oh! But instead of talking about cleaning products, let's talk about some things linked in the description below. There's some trailers. The first one is a new breakdown for Pokemon Sword and Shield. There's a lot more going on, and a lot more has been revealed. This is looking to be a compelling Pokemon RPG for Nintendo Switch that I am all about. I can't wait to see more of that. But also, we got to talk about it. Don't let this one go under the radar. There is a new trailer for Blasphemous. This is, of course, the Kickstarter Dark Souls-inspired 2D Metroidvania game. It's incredibly brutal and gross and awesome, and I am so into this. But another news, something that I thought was really cool and very surprising, is that not only are we getting a new Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines game, but we're also getting a Vampire the Masquerade, a Telltale-style, story-driven adventure game taking place in New York City. Apparently it's dropping for PC and Switch in the fourth quarter of 2019. Honestly, I'm just excited to see possibly just like a resurgence of this type of game. That's awesome. The more old-school style vampire games, the better as far as I'm concerned. But before we go, let's do that Friday show giveaway. You know, it's linked in the description below. You sign up to enter. You enter once, then you're entered for good. And every week we go in to randomly choose one person to win a free console of their choice. And believe it or not, I still get messages every week saying, how do I enter? It's right there. You sign up. If you don't have a YouTube name, just include the URL to your account. It's very simple. But anyway, this week's winner is going to be this person right here. Congratulations. Be sure to keep an eye on your inbox, your spam box, stuff like that, because we're going to be reaching out to you to find out how we can send you your free stuff. But like I said, E3 is right around the corner. We actually got to pack our stuff and go because we're going to be putting out a couple of videos while we're there, so keep your eyes peeled for that. But I want to know what you guys are looking forward to the most. There's been a lot of leaks already, a lot of stuff that we didn't even have time to cover, so I want to know what you got your eyes on. Also, what would you want? An announcement, if anything in the world, what would it be? I still just want a new Splinter Cell game. It doesn't seem like it's going to happen, but we'll see. Let's talk about anything E3 2019 down in the comments. But of course, if you got anything else for me at all, or if you just want to follow our adventures, you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Jake Baldino to see what's going on there. But thank you as always for coming around and watching every Friday. Sorry we got to cut and run and get there, but we're looking forward to seeing what you guys had to say. And if you know, clicking the like button does help us out. We really would appreciate it if you do that. But if you're new, you should consider subscribing and hitting that notification bell because we put out videos every single day, man. But as always, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Pizza's on me.